Ultraman, Ultraman Blazar, episode 1. I wanted to wait and watch the English dub before I reviewed this because I watched it while it was premiering with the sub, and then I guess there were some issues, so the dub wasn't active after it was done. Plus, instantly we had Toku Tonic Shift live stream like right after. So this morning I checked out the English dub for the first episode, and watching the episode a second time in English, I picked up on more of the stuff that I saw. But I'm gonna treat this differently than how I would do like Super Sentai or Kamen Rider reviews because I don't want to do a play by play. I don't want to do like a full breakdown, especially from the standpoint of you can go on YouTube right now and watch this. And obviously, I would love it if everyone went and watched it because the more people watch this, the higher the view count, the more people are like, we're going to get more of this stuff from Subaraya, even though we're getting so much as it is. I love them. As an Ultraman fan, like, this is kind of one of the situations I've talked about before on live streams and podcasts and other reviews. Like, as a fan of Ultraman, like, I'm glad I have this level of access to the shows because even Super Sentai older seasons, yeah, you can get the DVDs. Kamen Rider, it's very sparse, but it's like it's nice to know that like I have a lot of friends who aren't into Ultraman from a Toku standpoint that checked it out and have been talking to me about it. And it's so much easier to be like, oh, did you check the new episode? Like, no, I haven't, got the subs yet. This and that. It's like, dude, we can just go right on YouTube and watch this. And I implore everybody, please go check it out. Give it a chance. If you're not a big fan of Ultraman or you have no history with watching Ultraman, the Ultraman, was it the Subaraya channel, Ultraman Connect and stuff like that? Please, like, go check it out. It's the accessibility to so many movies, the smaller shows like Regulos and stuff like that, and then into the battle ones and everything else. Like, there's just so much there for content and so much lore and world building in the Ultra universe that like it's great. Like, I really genuinely hope people check this out. Now, Blazar episode 1. I like when my favorite thing is like I like there's some tropes in Toku that are like my favorite. I like it when it's raining and there's a fight scene. I like a lot of night shots when there's something like glowing to kind of draw your eye and makes it stand out and pop more. And I love my big meaty kaijus. Okay, I like and I like suitmation. I like someone in a kaiju suit. I don't mind CG, but I love it when there's a suit monster in a smaller city. That's why one of the things that appeals to me to Ultraman, it's the definition of Toku. They still keep so much of the practical effects, and there's a charm to it. And one of my favorite things about this is, yeah, it took place at night, but we were already like thrown into the world and the action. This wasn't an episode where it's a character profile where we're getting introductions to every single character. I will say, English dub are very well produced, and I'm not the type that's like subbed versus dubbed should be a debate. At the end of the day, both should exist because I have friends who don't watch subbed anything and they only watch dubbed. And for me, it's a multitask thing. If I'm like last night, I'm watching it live, subbed, I'm paying attention 100%. Dubbed, I'm still watching it, but if I have to walk away or I have to look at my other monitor or like my phone, I don't have to pause it, you know? So the dub was so well produced. Johnny and Bosch as Gento, great. I like what we're getting for characters already, even though we haven't gotten a lot of like introductions or depth, because it just starts right off with Bazanga, our kaiju, our monster of the week, is already attacking the city. We have the military group coming in. They're all nervous beforehand, and Gento's the seasoned captain, the leader, and he's easing them. He's like, "Yeah, we got this." They already have a plan because they already know kaiju interact. Like, going after kaijus and stopping them has already been established. So they have their military group and their different sects of that like already take care of business. Um, so I really like that. There wasn't really any hand holding. And while we weren't given a lot of depth or introductions to all the characters, other than a few names, we kind of already, it's already established, like, setting. So I'm okay with that. It's the best thing about the Ultraman series is like they're only like usually 25 episodes. So there is no fluff, there is no filler. You're usually thrown right into, okay, first episode you're getting your Ultraman. Like, and I will say this, seeing the episode, the suit and everything else, I love it. I love it so much. I love the idea of the blue on the side of the helmet that lights up. There was a scene when Gento first turns into Ultraman, where Ultraman grows big, holds the building up, and you see it from the perspective point of view of the kaiju Bazanga, and you see kind of like Ultraman peer out of the side of the building, and you see that front facing profile, and I was like, oh, my old and the fighting. My only regret is the music choice. The music wasn't bad, but man, the second he took his head and like peeked around the side of the building and this and that, I just wanted like a guitar riff to kick in, like just a couple little chords, little boom, 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 a couple riffs, and go into like a nice, like fighting song. I also like how primal it felt because this is his first time turning into Ultraman. We don't know the backstory of this Ultra, so it was a very grunt-filled, primal type fight. And one of the things I always liked about Ultraman is it's not so weapon heavy or the set. It's usually very grounded, physical fighting. Like if you're using like Zangief in Street Fighter, or wrestling, a lot of wrestling moves. There'll be drop kicks, there'll be suplexes. That's like the appeal to me. I'm a wrestling fan. And I like fighting games. So like one of the things about Ultraman, that fighting style always to me is like peak. I love that. I mean, there's even scenes where Ultraman actually ripped off the fins, the blade fins off the sides of each of the arms, and I was like, is he gonna beat him with his own arm pieces? And he did, and I was like, this is great. The device. Okay, so that little device, I was curious because it just kind of like appeared on Gento's arm, and then like something was like drawing him into putting the stone into it. So I was like, all right, I'm looking forward to next episode if we get some more explanations on that, because one, I like that device. Am I gonna get the DX one? No, but I'm really hoping we get like the memorial style like replica release, because I will buy that. And if that doesn't get announced, I will down the road get the DX version of it because I like the way it looks. Another thing for world building and lore, Ultraman already exists to an extent. There was a line where they were talking about how we've heard of Ultraman. There's been astronauts and people in space who have claimed they've seen them. So Ultraman's kind of like a myth, like an urban legend almost. So, but now they're actually seeing it, because this doesn't seem to be like, not trapped, I don't know, but in that Ultra universe where it's like, Trigger, new generation Tiga, or Deckard, stuff like that, where seems very removed and isolated to its own entity. I haven't seen all the press conference stuff or any of the dives into it. The only thing I've seen besides the initial trailer was this episode. So I'm not sure. I'll probably do a dive into it at some point. I just wanted to enjoy it. I'm an Ultraman fan, but I'm not the type that has to like know every bit of like production knowledge, every bit of lore. I just watch Ultraman and enjoy it. But the action was really good. I liked the Blazar had like this spear that he like manifested in. I was like, man, that looks cool. This is pretty badass, not gonna lie. Like I thought that was pretty damn cool. All the action was actually really good. Like I was impressed like immensely with it. The grunting, I did get some laughs out of it while watching it. I will say that. Oh, I got some chuckles when, the grunting, but I saw it as like, oh, it's primal, it's this and that. And, I even made the reference to the wild thornberries with the little kid with the long hair, like, because he was like jumping up and down and grunt. And, but like at the end of the day, it's like stuff like that is still entertaining. It doesn't, I'm not going to use that. And that's not going to be something I'm going to take away from, the show. It's really good. And I'm really excited because it's like all the night shots, like the practical effects, like watching, Super Sentai, especially right now with King Oja with their production and all the green screen work they're doing. Geats, they had some CG mechas in there, and they're, and yeah, there's fighting and stuff, but it's like very, different. Ultraman always has its own lane. It always has its own charm, and Blazar continue. Like I'm really looking forward to episode 2, and I want the suit. I do. I want a replica of that suit. I'm gonna have to go online and do some searching because I would wear that to a convention, and I would probably put it. Then I would probably put it on a mannequin and just have it behind me on display, especially if I can get one that lights up. Um, but yeah, I don't like I said. I'm not gonna do like these deep breakdowns into, you know, every specific little detail that happens in the show per episode for the review. I'm just gonna have a little casual banter like this. But if you checked it out, let me know what you think in the comments below. I do plan on covering every episode. That was something I was telling myself I was gonna do. Um, Trigger, I was about to, but I was like, Trigger kind of fell off for me. I still watched it, but I didn't want to like. I didn't have time to like create content. Even right now, I'm behind on other shows for reviews, but like it's Ultraman, like, and I am actually working on other Ultraman content because I'm a big Ultraman fan. But that's it for the video. I really enjoyed episode 1. Please let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video.